Ciao, it's Cherry, and on today's episode of Flirting with Flavor, I'm going to teach you how to identify and harvest wild fennel. Since this plant happens to be on the side of a busy road, I'm going to take a little walk and see if there's some more plants I can find that are in a better location. Right now is the best time of year to harvest wild fennel, either the pollen, the fronds, or the seeds. Fennel is amazing for flavoring soups, rubs, or you can add the little fronds as what's the word for it? Garnish. There's a few different ways that you can harvest fennel. Right here you can see these cute little yellow flowers, and this is where you're going to get the fennel pollen. And all you're going to do is just rub, and then there you have it. There's some pollen. The best way to harvest this is to take a paper bag, and we're just going to add these flowers into the bag. This is like the very sweet part of the fennel because it's where the bees are pollinating. That anise flavor is also really strong. We're also gonna look for some fennel seeds. This stalk right here is perfect for the seeds. Here you can see an example. Once they bloom, they kind of bulge a little bit. And just take this stalk and add this into our second paper bag. Once we take it back home, I'm going to show you how to dry it. A lot of people also like to harvest the fronds of the plant, which are like the feathery looking leaves. Those are best harvested in late spring to early summer when they're young. So I'll show you what those look like. You can see that these are a little bit wider and bigger now, so I'm not going to harvest these because I don't really have any use for them fresh today, and I don't intend on drying them either. Here's a great example of the young fennel fronds. This would be amazing to eat. The flavor is a lot more subtle, so I'm not going to use this one. If you ever wanted to harvest it fresh, this is when it's the best. Okay, I found some wild fennel around the lake. I'm going to show you. I brought scissors. I'm not sure why I'm not using it. This is good because you can see that the flowers are still open. You can see like those pistils on top. This is perfect, so we're going to put this in our flower bag. And I think you can see this stalk right here is perfect for the seed, so I'm just gonna kind of slip through this fence. Perfect. Some of the amazing benefits of fennel aren't just the amazing taste, it's also a digestive. If you ever go to an Indian restaurant and you see like a little bowl of something that looks like sprinkles, it's probably candy covered fennel seeds, and they're an amazing digestive to eat after or before your meal. So I got almost all the way around the lake and I found about 2 plants of fennel until I finally got here, and look at this huge, beautiful fennel plant. And this is a great example that even if you don't like the taste of fennel, it's an amazing pollinator just to have in your garden because it attracts so many bees. Fantastic plant to have. You can also tell that it's fennel if you pinch it and just give it a little smell. There are a few plants that may look like this but are poisonous, so make sure that you get that anise smell. That's the best way to tell if it's wild fennel or something poisonous. I harvested a ton of this fennel, and I have a bag of pods that we're going to dry at home, and I also have a ton of pollen that I'm going to scrape from these little stems. I'm back home and I just transferred my wild fennel to a bowl, and first I'm going to be removing the pollen from the stems, and I'll show you how to do that. Brush against the flowers. You can also use your fingers. We're going to do it to the rest of the bowl. As you can see, this is definitely a labor of love, but that's also why it's really expensive if you were to buy it in a store. We did it for free. I'm very curious how much we're actually gonna get from these flowers. Kind of stopped using the brush very quickly. I'm just grabbing the tips and kind of twisting like this. This is why we're not harvesting from anything near a road, because you can't really wash these. It's better to find it in an area that is clean and away from traffic. This is how much we have so far. Very curious to see how much we're gonna get. I'm gonna try a second method for removing the pollen, which is putting everything in a bag, the same bag that we harvested with, closing it up, and shaking it, because the other way is taking quite a long time. Make sure you use a paper bag for this because a plastic bag is just gonna stick to everything. Let's see if we got some pollen off. That seemed to work a bit. I do think that we're gonna get more just removing it from our fingers. I'm gonna go back to that. This is the new method. This seems to work the best. Take the flowers like this and rub it against your hand, and the pollen just kind of comes off. This is a lot easier than like going through and individually poking them. Look at how much just came off from that. It's okay if there's a little bit of green. I'm not super worried about it. This is what we have so far. Now for the seeds, we're going to make a little bouquet. As you can tell, it's a bit easier when you have longer stalks. Arrange them together like this. So now that we have a little bouquet, I'm just gonna use a little hairband. I'm gonna wrap this around a few times. Perfect. Now that they're all together like this, I'm gonna grab some twine and I'm gonna tie this around as well. Now I just have to find somewhere to hang it. They look like cute little broccolis. These are going to hang up here for a couple of weeks until they turn brown, and then I will show you how to harvest them. They're looking very lovely next to my herbs that should also be ready in a couple weeks. After all of that, this is all the pollen that I got from the fennel. I'm going to use it very sparingly. Hopefully I can find some fun recipes.